Good morning. Welcome to Natasha Makes. Now, this week we have got all sorts of goodies for you, but we are going to start off the week with something that is giftable, that is fun to make, that you can use fat quarters. It's fat quarter friendly, and you can really have an awful lot of fun with. Now, later on in the week, we're going to be looking at the dash hound and all the different ways that you can use this sausage dog pattern. I've also got the most incredible tweed for you and matching bow ties. Makes me so happy, like ridiculously happy. I've got boxes of, these are made out of tweed handkerchief, you know, like the pocket handkerchiefy things that you'd have, and then I've got matching bow ties. Don't ask me how I came about them, but I did, and I've wanted to make this make for so long. And whether you're using up your scraps, there's a bit of boiled wool in there. There's my leftover Kaufman. It's got a little flicky tail and a little super gorgeous ear over there. And then a bow tie on there on some leftover velvet. I might make that into a pillow. Not quite sure yet. So you can elongate his body, or maybe you're going to make him into a, I don't know, a centerpiece for a, I don't know, anyway. Or whether he's going to be a cushion like this. It's entirely up to you. He is incredibly versatile. But today, we are going to look at these. No. You can just about see these. I need to just change that angle, don't I, a little bit so you can see it on the edge of the desk. These are drawstring bags. Perfect for gifting. I love them in the spot. I know Peta on Facebook was not sure about the twine. I like the twine, gives it a rustic feel. And you can, with these, you can tie them off and have that as a handle so you can gift. You can put mugs and all sorts in there. Or you could gift it as a little nesting trio. You can use ribbons, you don't have to use twine. That was just what I had. And they're rather gorgeous. They're rather gorgeous. It gives you a great excuse to use up your fat quarters. So let's have a little look at what I used, shall we? Because obviously these are the bags that I made. I've called them nesting gift bags because they do exactly that. And I used my Tilda chambrays. And here's the thing, if you have not seen these, where have you been? These have been on our Friday deals now for weeks. They've just had the other colourways come into stock. So they're seasonal. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. We had these two a little while ago. I know lots of you have managed to get your hands on the spring and the winter. And these, of course, worked so beautifully with the fabrics that we had in the other week. Just beautifully. And in them you've got a couple of spots on this. Here you've got 3 different spots here. You've got 2 different spots there. The chambrays are always far more expensive from Tilda than her normal printed fabrics, just because of the way that they're made. But the quality, the quality is sublime, absolutely sublime. So you've got your spring, you've got your summer. This is the summer one that I used. Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 fat quarters. I've used 2, 4, 6 there, so I had 3 left. Okay, and I'm just going to show you, because obviously that was those 2, and then this one I did with those 2 together, and then this one I did that and that, which left me with that, with those 3 there. And as often happens in my workroom, I suddenly realised that these worked beautifully. The 3 that I had left over worked so beautifully with, just going to show you, with the liberties we had last week. Look, it's like they are meant to be. So I'm all set up to do another 3 here. We're not going to make 3 on this particular show, but I certainly will be making all 3 out of these. So you can grab, when you grab your tildes, why not grab yourself some of those liberties if you haven't already. And we're going to be putting these liberties to good use this week. I've used the liberties with the dash hound as well. But look how beautifully they work with the liberties. So if you are investing in the summer one, just beautiful. Just know it's a really, really, really versatile make. So you've got spring, which just is gorgeous, summer, and then you've got your autumn and your winter. The winter one works so beautifully with the Merry Little Christmas collection that we've just had. That works an absolute treat with that. And actually some of these colours are perfect for toy making, and generally you can make Tilda's toys and you can get those patterns at tildasworld.com for free. By the way, these will work beautifully for the elephant, the giraffe, those toys as well. Now over here, again, more options for your toy making. This is autumn, and I love the rich berry colours that we've got in here, along with some more purples. I mean, the dream is all four. Now I know, like I say, the Tilda chambrays are more expensive than the normal Tilda fabrics. So what we have done to help with this is we've done buy one, get one half price. Buy one, get one half price. So you could buy 3 and get one entirely for free. That's 9 fat quarters of Tilda fabric entirely for free. That's an incredible offer. And these are so versatile, like I say, to put into your stash, to mix and match through. Absolutely stunning. They're going to work. An absolute treat. I mean, I'm just standing here looking, going, hang on a minute. What about this bundle with this? Let me, for example, take out these Kaufman, or just the one Kaufman, and show you this. So this is just one Kaufman that we had on last week. But immediately, look how gorgeous that tone is with that. And that tone is with that. So immediately I've got 2 incredible chambrays that I can use with this very, very, very beautiful Kaufman. These are all on the website. Now we've got a grey in there as well, which is going to work there. A couple of greys that's going to work. So actually, these chambrays, ignore the spot, just these plains are a gorgeous addition if you've gone for the Kaufman. Ooh, I haven't even looked at it with the reds and the greens yet, but that's what I mean. It sits in your stash so beautifully. The make itself this morning, incredibly simple, with as little waste as possible. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at today. You could save your ribbons here, and you could use your ribbons through your project as well if you wish. So that's the thing with all of these. Just because don't be put off a project just because I've used a ribbon that maybe isn't to your taste. That is absolutely cool. Like, these are serving suggestions. Absolutely serving suggestions. You do with them what you wish. Okay, I'm going to be filling mine with goodies and gifting them. So it might be that in this one you might pop a little mug and then add some chocolates and sweets around. Maybe this one you just put some little sweets and things in. Maybe this one's got something a little bit bigger. You could fit a fat quarter bundle in there. Just saying. Let's just stack those very beautifully and pop them to one side for now. So like I say, we've got 3 different sizes to play with. This is why they nest so beautifully. The technique is exactly the same. You've got the cutting instructions for all 3 different sizes as we go. So there's absolutely no bother there. Let's go with this middle one here. Do the other ones at a later date. So we'll put that to one side. Excuse the state of my hair. My goodness. I still have not found or unpacked all my hair stuff. So yeah, we are as we come, as nature intended at the moment, which is apparently bird's nesty. So you're going to start with 3 squares 1 H640, 1 outer fabric, 1 lining fabric. I'm going to adhere my, oh there you go, bird's nest view again, my outer fabric to my H640. A little bit of steam to help us do that. So the beautiful thing is what you do to the outside in terms of cutting, you're going to do to what you do to the outside, you do to the lining. So this is a very easy, actually beginner friendly. Oh, can I just say, you know the little gift bags that we made last week? Emily filled hers with sweets, took them into school for her birthday. They went down an absolute treat. Hooray! So these are my starting fabrics, okay? And then you're going to take, did I go middle size? I did, didn't I? Yeah. You're going to take your Perfect 5 or something like, and a pen, and you're going to cut a square out of each corner. Now, the size of square that you are going to cut is going to depend, obviously, on whether it's the small, medium or large, and all of those details, all of those instructions, all those sizings are all in your pattern. I do appreciate it when you buy our patterns. I know some of you scrutinise and decide never to buy the patterns and make it yourselves, and that's, you know, that's a thing too, but it doesn't help keep us on air. When you support us through buying our patterns, obviously that helps us tremendously, and that's why we can bring you this free content. So thank you very much for that. There we go. So you can, if you've got some of our 1/2 meter heavens as well, then of course this is absolutely perfect for all of those 1/2 meter heavens. I would go in with a sharp pair of scissors, and yes, I have actually found a pair. Because you might overshoot with a rotary cutter. Do not throw these away. But I've got everything layered up. I've got my outer fabrics, my lining fabrics, they're all layered up. And apart from the cutting, this is all made in real time, so you'll see just how simple and easy these are. Okay, so we're going to put the lining fabric to one side, and what we are going to do now is sort these. So we're going to take these squares from the lining fabrics. Now if you make enough of these, you're going to have lots of these left, and I keep looking at all my leftover ones going, ooh, what can I do with them? Because these are my leftover ones from earlier, and I think some sort of patchworky something with these has got to be done. I don't know what yet, but I'm saving them because I save everything. Okay, so now I would just, especially because these are the chambrays and you've got such beautiful detail on these. If you don't know what a chambray is, let me see if I can just show you. So with a chambray, can you see you've got one colour going there and one colour going across there, and they are different. The warp and the weft are different coloured threads. You've got a darker one there and a lighter one there, and that's what gives it this incredible colour movement. They are just exquisite, and whilst they look quite fine under all of my lights and everything else, actually they are incredibly robust. Tilde fabrics, and we're just going to press these in half. Tilde fabrics have far less shrinkage than normal cotton fabrics. It's something to do with the mill that she chooses to use, but really it's one of the best for the smallest amount of shrinkage. Any cotton fabric, because of how it's made, because of how it's woven, is going to have some shrinkage, but normally it's between 5 and 7%. Tilda, about 3. Like, it's remarkable. So don't be fooled. These are top quality fabrics. And she knows what she's doing. So Tuna Fananga, who is the woman behind Tilda, used to, you know, she's worked in this industry for many, many years. Used to work in a craft shop. So she's a crafter making for crafters, which I love. And I love the fact that she just spends her days designing in her pyjamas. And I know this because I know her and she's lovely. We're now going to chain stitch down the sides. And again, if you're batch making, this is really easy to do. I'd start from the folded edge. And work your way down. And here we are. On the folded end, I would just try and take out as much bulk as you can. Don't worry about doing it on the other end. And then we're going to turn these through. If you have a pokey tool, then great. But for now, just pop them through. The beauty of the chambrays is that there is movement to the colour because of how they're woven, and the warp and the weft being different colours, which makes them the most incredible blender because they're not a solid colour. And so they'll pick up all the different tones in this blue, and I know it's going to work so incredibly beautifully. And because you can't just hit upon one specific colour, they just work so well. So use your blenders, your chambrays, with confidence. Now, if Tilda's chambrays are out of your price range, I can tell you that with these Liberties, our own chambrays that we have at a really affordable price. The royal blue works beautifully with this Liberty as well. So maybe you don't want to invest, or you don't want to use up your Tilda chambray, or whatever it is. I will just show you in a second how. There you go. That's our royal. And we brought that in as a really affordable chambray for you. And we've got, I think we've got an 11 long quarter bundle on the website for you as well. We're now going to fold these in half and press again. And these are going to produce the little channel there we go, that we will sew round. So grab yourself a pin. It's not often a pin, is it? Grab yourself your pins. Now, this folded edge here is going to sit into the middle, and you're going to centre that. You can measure it if you want. So fold it and then centre it. I love this because the only waste that you've got in this entire project are those 4 squares of the outer fabrics. And we'll find something for those, I'm sure. Okay, you can baste these in place very, very easily, just less than 1/4 of an inch so that your stitches don't show. Okay, so they are now all sewn in place. And now what we're going to do, we're going to do the same with the lining. You can fold it in half diagonally if you want like that. But we're going to sew down there and down there. Or if you want to, it's exactly the same. Sew there, then just work your way round until we end up with that square shape. Okay. But if it helps you to make sense to do it diagonally and then change it and do the other sides diagonally, then do that. Whatever works best in your brain. And the other thing that I would say is work from the folded end out. Just means that you can line everything up a bit better. Especially when there's any kind of wadding, I would generally try and start with my foot on and then reverse off, rather than trying to push up onto something, because it can just nudge everything out of alignment. You see, if I started this way and started from there, in trying to get up onto it, it could easily nudge that. So rather than it being like that, it can nudge it off like that. So in order to escape that even being a thing, I start with my foot on the wadding. I take a couple of stitches forward, stitch off it, and then it's already secured. It's not going to go anywhere. And then you won't get those offset seams that you sometimes see, and that can be really annoying. So that has produced us our square. We're going to do exactly the same with the lining, but on one of them we're going to leave a turning through gap. I'm going to do that on the first one. And because this doesn't have any interfacing, it doesn't matter which way I kind of start sewing. So I've left my turning through gap in that hole. Now we are pre-recorded this morning because we are quilting with Jane. If you'd like to join any of our subscriptions, they do not break the bank at all, but my goodness me, the offers that our members have had this week, if they have just these last few weeks, if they've just taken advantage of one of them, then that would have more than paid for their subscription in terms of the heads up that they got on certain offers and deals and fabrics. So it's always worth becoming a member to get those offers and deals and incredible discounts. So we've got our outer fabric here, we've got our lining fabric here, and you turn through. If you do want to become a member, you'll find it on the Natasha Makes website. If you head down to memberships, then you can choose which one. We've got a quilting one, we've got a general makes one, and we've got a cork makes one. And we've got some exciting news about those coming soon. I am matching these corners just like that, and that's the only bit of pinning that I'm doing, apparently with the world's biggest pin. So we're right sides together with these fabrics, okay, and then we're going to sew around that top. And it really, magnetic pins are the best, aren't they? Doesn't matter if you want to do it that way. I'm going to sew it from the inside. I'm going to start at a seam just so that I can see where I am heading, and then I can always lay it flat. Can you see? I can always lay that flat. So this is my preferred way round to do it, because then it's not like I'm trying to sew round in a circle or anything like that. It could be perceived as difficult, or in a square or anything like that. Oh gosh, there's corners. No, you've just got straight edges to sew along. You can see this is not a problem. We are just continually sewing in a straight line, and it also means that you can make sure there's no bagginess. So that is perfectly sewn all the way around. And then all we're going to do is just turn that through. It doesn't get any easier, does it, doing this? Normally try and go to the farthest side. There we go. But it never looks elegant. It always looks a right old mess. Thank goodness for irons. And it can appear quite disappointing when you first do it and you're like, ah, what is this mess? It's okay, bear with. The beautiful thing about this make is that you've got your channels there to pull those seams to the top. So what we're going to do is get our iron in, ease out those corners, get our iron in and press those seams along the top there. Okay, so that makes life an awful lot easier. Look, because of having that channel, I'm just going to make sure that channel sits on top. I would be really cautious about using steam when your iron is in there. Ask me how I know. I did it and the steam just came whoosh straight back out and burnt my hand. So just be a little bit careful about applying steam when you're kind of in there. Nice hot iron, yes, or just the tiniest little bit of steam if you need to, but get your hand out the way quick. Isn't this pretty? So really different looks from using the same collection of fabrics Actually, do you know what? You could almost use these as plant pot holders and just tie in, especially if you've got animals that like my cats like to get in and dig my flower pots. But if I tied up the top, tighten the top, they couldn't get in, and then I wouldn't have to look at the unappealing plant pots. So just giving that turning through gap a little press, and then I'm going to top stitch, because I always mean to hand stitch so that it looks really neat with a lovely little slip stitch, ladder stitch, whatever you want to call it. However, history and life has taught me that I never get around to it. So instead, I just top stitch them shut, and then I know it's done. And look, in all honesty, you don't notice it. And then what I'm going to do is just top stitch around the top stitch around the top? Yeah, I am. And you can see my foot there is about 1/8 of an inch across that channel, so that I'm top stitching by about 1/8 of an inch around. That's not important. If 1/8 of an inch feels too little for you, then just go with what feels okay. There's nothing that has to be in terms of the top stitching. It doesn't have to be a certain width. Okay, so now what we've got, and it's looking rather lovely. Obviously you've got some little, I'm not snipping those snips with big scissors. There you go, go in with your little snips. And there we've got, isn't that pretty? And doesn't it just look so different in different fabrics? But it's exactly the same make. Now, maybe you've got a pretty ribbon that you want to use. Maybe you've got twine. Maybe you're like me and you like the twine. Maybe you're like me and you can't find all your beautiful ribbons that you had once upon a time because you've just moved house. You don't know where everything is. Where are they? But if you want to use a ribbon, then of course you can. Oh, that one will be sparkly and fabulous. In which case, grab yourself a bodkin. If you are going to use twine, my top tip is to put a little bit of sellotape around the edge of your twine to go through. Now, what have I done with my bodkin? Oh, come on. I had it because I used my bodkin yesterday. What have I done with it? Ah, look, it's underneath. At this point, I would not be undoing my ribbon from there yet. Okay, I've got a massive box full of different ribbons somewhere, but ribbons, twine, whatever takes your fancy. And this really is to your taste, so don't be off put. Like I say, there was one lady that was adamant. She put comments across 3 different posts about how she wasn't sure about the twine. It's like, it's okay. You don't have to use it. You honestly don't. It's all okay. Now what I would say is cut your ribbon, twine, whatever you're using, so that it is fully open, and only, I just pop a little knot in it when it is fully open. One thing to note when you are using ribbons, that you're going to be doubling up on the ribbon going through your channel, so don't go for like a really, really chunky one that you can't then fit 2 of through. So I can just trim those back. And then, because I started there, I want to go on the opposite side so that they can just be pulled opposites to go round. We've got beautiful metallic twines, we've got all sorts for you to have a little play with on the website. Maybe you've got a stash of ribbons, who knows. And then when you've come all the way back round to where you started, it's attached still. Then again, just tie it off. So it's going to be open like that, and then when you come to pull it shut, you just do it on opposite sides, and you can tighten it all the way up. If you want it really, really, really secure, you can all the way, depending on what you're putting in there, or you might just want it to just loosely, just so that it just holds something loosely, and then you can tie that off. and then have that almost like a little handle. But like I say, it is completely up to you. You might, like I say, you might want to put a little plant pot in there and just tighten these so that it just covers the earth and nothing gets in, and it looks really beautiful. You might want to gift a mug or something, or whatever it is that you are gifting. It's just going to look very, very beautiful. You might want to just leave them open like that, and that is also absolutely fine. In which case, if you don't want those knots showing, just swizzle them round so that they don't show, and they're in the channel there. And then you don't even have to look at them if you don't want to. And then you can just have a couple of ribbons around the edge as a feature. And use it as a basket. It's so incredibly versatile. It's up to you how you want to use them. But do use them because they're beautiful, really beautiful, or stack them and gift them. But for me, I love the rustic look, I love the spots, but I also love that I had enough fat quarters left over that I can make another 3 using my leftover Liberty scraps. So do take a look at these. Let me know what you think when you've made them, how easy they are, and what you filled yours with. Put them in the comments below. Tomorrow we are sausage dogging all the way. That doesn't sound quite right, does it? I will see you here tomorrow. Will I have found anything to do my hair with? Who knows? If it's in a ponytail, probably not. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Lots of love. Bye bye.